Welcome, it's Michael Murray with Benzinga. I'm joined here by Irving Kau, the CFO of Focus Universal. Irving, it's great to have you with us. How are you?
Thank you, Michael. Very glad to be here.
It's a pleasure to have you here. Excited to talk with you and Focus to talk more about what you guys do. In simple terms, can you kick us off by talking about what the company does?
Sure. I mean, it's very difficult to keep it simple, but what we have is 5 distinct technology platforms that bring the connected world together. Um, Devices, sensors, platforms that are able to collect data on a massive scale.
Terrific. And your company, one of the ways to describe it is working to integrate circuits on the device level. How is this an advantage over the component level? And more importantly, how does this allow you to push the limits of Moore's Law?
Basically, what we're able to do is to gather information and data much more efficiently on a greater scale with less energy usage. That's the end product. Now, it also enables companies of smaller size and lower levels of investment be able to develop devices that are able to work interoperably with other devices and truly build out the platform. As it stands right now, you have large players that are able to build products in their own silos. However, these small players often have significant failure rates for devices because of the fact that they cannot have the same level of investment as the large firms do.
Fantastic. Now, you guys also recently added some important devices to your Universal IoT and Ubiquiter. Can you tell us about some of those and what are some of the products on the horizon as we move forward here?
Yeah, I mean, some of the interesting things. Recently, we received a patent for power line communication. That's the ability to be able to transmit data packets across electrification cables. So let's say you're in a rural townhouse and you're barn house and you only have electricity there, you don't have data services, you don't have Wi-Fi. You're able to uh, send and receive data through that electric cable, and that opens the world up for connectivity. um, and you know in addition, for sort of AVX on the flashier side of the product spectrum for us, we introduced some LED panels and other products. We intend to show them at Infocom, which is coming up, one of the top 30 trade shows, the largest AV trade show. And we have a nice booth planned. And basically, uh, LED has become the de facto leader in the industry. A lot of the big screen TVs in people's homes, in whether it be at the workplace, also in order to display your products or communicate messages on billboards, have been now replaced with LED. LEDs are modular, so they can increase in size to as large and fit different dimensions. It's the same components that are utilized in large stadiums like Staples Center, or like the Rams, where the Rams play, SoFi Stadium, and the largest screens are millions of dollars. So that's a really exciting line of business for us too. The LEDs, and the low end in a home, maybe 20,000 for a full wall LED panel in order to showcase, the flash, as how high end the home is, and goes all the way up to stadium installs of millions of dollars.
Terrific. Now let's take a look ahead into the future. Where do you see IoT in 10 years? What kind of things will we see connected that we don't have connected now? And how much of our daily lives are going to be smart, so to speak?
Well, hopefully more and more, right? Like, so to be honest with you, right now, everyone builds in their own silo, and those silos don't work well together. In the end, what you need to do is you need to be able to communicate interoperably, as I mentioned before, between those silos. So silo one has to be able to talk with silo two, and vice versa, and be able to transmit data seamlessly between those. In order for that to happen, you have to be outside the silo, right? And because of that, you need to be able to work and be able to develop smaller businesses and enable them to rise up and be able to connect as well. And all those have been successful components of past ecosystems that have developed technology to a larger extent. And we think that that rings true for the IoT world as well. And so what you'll see is more and more products that are independent, that are able to begin using some of our applications and connect uh, interoperably and seamlessly. Now, what you also need is lower energy constraints, right? Because we do have an energy shortage, not only with the electrification of cars and other things, you do get pushed against that threshold where there's too many signals, too much connected devices pulling on the energy and on the data also. So those two freeways are beginning to become uh, gridlocked, if I may use an analogy there. And so what our technology does is you utilize more targeted connectivity in being able to uh, connect one device to another in the most efficient fashion, right? So what we're doing is we're using lower levels of bandwidth and sending it at higher speeds, so that you can achieve higher speeds, but using less energy and using it at bandwidth that is more elegant and more appropriate to the application.
Excellent. And a final question for you. How is the IoT going to be affected by the advent of AI in the future? Can you shed any insights for us here?
Oh, absolutely. Great question again, Michael. So AI is a complementary technology. What it does is it's able to be utilized in certain circumstances where a decision has to be made, but perhaps the human calculation of that decision is may not be the most accurate, or an attentive human is not available at the time, or the human that is available perhaps needs some guidance, and needs some data calculation, data analysis of some sort. And that's what AI accomplishes, right? So at those junctures, when we're providing some of that data services back to the individual, back to the decision maker that's necessary, then AI becomes very important, right? And that decision making process, whether it be deep learning of some sort, or just simple algorithms that are implied, both those can be appropriate in different situations.
Absolutely. It's stunning insights here, and obviously a lot to look forward to when it comes to this industry, but specifically what you guys are doing as well. Irving Kau, CFO of Focus Universal, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you. And Michael, we expect a great year forward for us, 2023. We have great expectations for the year as far as continued growth, in many different ways, in catalysts, in revenues. And so we feel confident this year.
And we look forward to watching it. Irving, thank you again so much for joining us.
Thank you so much, Michael, and really appreciate Benzinga and your staff here. Thank you.